With the increasing purchasing power in both countries, you can imagine the future of these two countries as the engine of growth of our region. I understand some of you may be asking these questions. What about the region's security challenges, such as the situation in Myanmar and tensions in the South China Sea? ASEAN has just celebrated its 54th anniversary. This is just a mature age. So let's give complete trust to our diplomats to settle those challenges. ASEAN in the past faced much more complex situation and always found a solution to make itself grow stronger than before. Nevertheless, our job today is not to discuss political issues. Let's do business. I hope this seminar will prescribe and lay down strategic aspects for Indonesia-Vietnam business collaboration after COVID-19, confront the challenges and take better opportunities ahead. Once again, allow me to thank you all for your participation in this webinar. To all my Indonesian friends, tanggal 17 Agustus kita akan merayakan Hari Kemerdekaan Indonesia. Happy 76th anniversary of the independence of the Republic of Indonesia. Sekali merdeka, tetap merdeka. Thank you all.
Thank you, Pak Dubes. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, we are now moving to our discussion today, and we are very grateful to have these amazing speakers to share their knowledge and experience in doing business in Vietnam. The first speaker will be Bapak Budiarsa Sastrawinata. Bapak Budiarsa holds several prestigious positions in Indonesia and also overseas, among which are Managing Director of Ciputa Group, CEO of Grand Shenyang International City, China, Chairman Board of Trustee University of Tarumanegara, Chairman of Indonesia-Vietnam Friendship Association, Agency Head for Integrated Property Development Areas of the Indonesian Chambers and Commerce, and many more. Without further ado, the screen is yours, Bapak Budiarsa.
Thank you, Pak Ferry. Allow me to share the screen. Is the screen on?
Yes, Pak. It's good.
Okay, it's full screen, yeah. Okay. Your Excellency, Bapak Denny Abdi, Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, all my colleague speakers, Pak Arif Wijaya, Ms. Fuchi Mai, Mr. Jiang Kwok Chung, Mr. Wing Eng Zeng, distinguished guests, participants, good morning. On behalf of the Ciputa Group, I would like to express my gratitude to the Embassy of Indonesia in Vietnam for inviting me to participate in this webinar to share my feelings and thoughts on our experiences, opportunities, and challenges of investing in Vietnam, as well as future prospects. Ciputa Group was established in 1981, and we are one of the leading real estate developers in Indonesia, with over 40 years of experience in developing more than 70 large-scale township projects ranging from 500 hectares to 6,000 hectares, office buildings, apartments, shopping centers, hotels, and theme parks, and is operating a project spreadly across the world in 118 projects in 4 countries. And our core business are township, including residential and commercial development, but we also have other business such as healthcare and plantation. For the residentials, we cover a total development area of 11,000 hectares with 71 township on residential projects. And on the commercial side, we have more than 460,000 square meter lease office space, more than 1,200 rooms of hotel and service apartments. We have 6 shopping centers, 10 water parks and theme parks, resort, and 3 golf courses. We start the project in Hanoi way back in 1993. The first project is the mixed-use complex consisting of a 5-star hotel and an office Tower, which is the headquarters of Citibank Vietnam now. The hotel started operation in 1997, known as Horizon Hotel Hanoi, then rebranded to Pullman Hotel Hanoi. The hotel has 14 floors with more than 200 rooms and suites. It is in the city center of Hanoi. This is the pictures during construction way back in 1995, and this is the current picture of the hotel. And we also have the office tower, we call it Horizon Tower, which is adjacent to the hotel. And the second project is the Ciputra Hanoi International City, the first large-scale residential and commercial integrated township in Hanoi. We are the first developers in the Vietnam real estate markets to anticipate the need for large-scale integrated new town developments on the outskirts of developing capital of Hanoi. The area covers 301 hectares, and we started construction in 2002. Up to now, we have developed nearly 2,000 apartment units and close to 1,000 let houses. And presently, this is the master plan of the project. There are more than 8,000 residents from over 80 countries now living in the project. This is how we start the project when we present the project concept in 1994 when we met His Excellency Hoang Van Nguyen, the chairman of Hanoi People's Committee then. And also we make the courtesy call on the same year to His Excellency Doc Moi, the Secretary General of the Communist Party of Vietnam. This is a site look like way back in 2002, and this is during construction. And this is what it is today. This is all pictures, it's not artist impression, by the way. And our project received awards from domestic and international prestigious institutions. Now let me share the experience that we have during our business in Hanoi. Why we go to Hanoi? Because we see the opportunities in Vietnam, as Vietnam have a very large population with the steady high growth economy, and also politically stable and strong government. And one very important is the government is very investor friendly, plus the availability of good human resources. These are the steps that we did. Maybe just to detail, I just go flip through it. And now the challenges. The challenges, of course, the market expectation would be different from Indonesia. We take example. Very simple example is the construction of roof. We have to follow the normal practice with the concrete roof, while we don't do that in Indonesia. And also on the pricing, we have to follow the custom and the common practice, including the service charge. We have to educate the market why we are charging such a service charge. But the other challenges are the regulation. But that's typical in the developing country. The regulation also developing. That's the same in Indonesia. But since the government has a policy of investor friendly, so the government makes sure that the changes in the regulation doesn't really jeopardize the business and the viability of the project. And the other challenges is where we also face everywhere in the world is the land issues that we have to deal with the individuals or owner to acquire. So these are the items that we have to focus on also. That is, we have to adapt to the local custom. We have to find the big enough market penetration. And of course, we have to have the sufficient funding for the unexpected constraint due to external condition. And we have to maintain the good communication and relationship with the government. And we have to be inclusive and also environmental friendly. And don't forget also that we need to train the local staff as the transfer of know-how. In master planning, we want to make sure that we provide a better living concept that can improve the quality of life. And also on our design, we keep improving. That's why that is leading us to construct and deliver thousands of residential units over the years. We also emphasize on the various residential facilities that we have in the project. And also providing the ample green living environment. We know that the importance of education. Currently, we have 3 international standard schools operating in the project. And of course, we introduced the eco-culture program, which include the bioclimatic analysis for the master plan. We provide eco-path and also the community campaigns to preserve the environment through website and billboards in the project. For nearly 20 years, our asset management team has provided professional services for our residents to ensure the best experience and service for our residents. Our project also sponsored the development of badminton, Ciputa Hanoi Badminton Club. We are honored to be able to make a long-term commitment to the success of the sport development between Indonesia and Vietnam. And since the COVID-19 pandemic, we also pioneering businesses to support through the Vietnam Fatherland Front Committee. And we also have formed an emergency response team with the local and Hanoi authorities carrying out disinfection of public places and organizing vaccine drives. And Ciputa Hanoi, we are proudly considered the free of COVID-19 area or the green zone.
Budi, 2 minutes more, Pak.
Yes, I'm finishing now. Thank you. I'm very impressed with the Vietnamese government's successful policies to promote high economic growth with political and social stability. I've seen many improvements over the years in Hanoi City and Vietnam in general. I would like to congratulate the Vietnamese government and its people on restoring economic growth, trade, and attracting foreign investment during these challenging times of the global pandemic. I would like to take this opportunity also to thank the government of Vietnam for the valuable support and guidance we have received over the last 28 years. I would like to emphasize that without the support of the Indonesian Embassy in Vietnam, Indonesian and Vietnamese government office, the relevant ministries, the Hanoi People's Committee, and our local joint venture partner, Hanoi Toserco at Pullman Hanoi Hotel, and UDIC at Ciputra Hanoi International City, it would have been impossible for us to achieve the level of success we have today. In closing, I would like to congratulate the Indonesian Embassy for successfully organizing the webinar, coinciding with the commemoration of the 76th anniversary of Indonesian independence. I wish all my fellow countrymen a happy Independence Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Budi Arsa. Next, we will have Mr. Zhang Kok Chung. Mr. Chung is the current Secretary of the Party Committee, Chairman of the Members' Council of Urban Infrastructure Development Investment Corporation UDIC, and Vice Chairman of the Member Council of Citra Westlake City Development. Without further ado, the screen is yours, Chung.
Respectfully, His Excellency Danny Abdi, new Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia in Vietnam. Good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to introduce myself as Sang Quốc Chung, Chairman of the Shareholder Council of UDIC, Vice Chairman of Shareholder Council of Citra Westlake City Development Company Limited. On the occasion of the 76th National Day of the Republic of Indonesia on August 17th, 2021, on behalf of UDIC Corporation and from myself, I would like to convey congratulations and best wishes to His Excellency Danny Abdi and to all officers and employees of the Indonesian Embassy in Vietnam. Here are some information about UDIC. We are a state-owned corporation of the Hanoi Municipal People Committee. Our headquarters is located in Hanoi. I am Giang Quốc Trung, the chairman of Shareholder Council, and Mr. Nguyễn Văn Luyến is the general director. Our area of business are real estate investment, constructing and installing civil and industrial construction, manufacturing and trading construction materials, construction and investment consultant, export, import, and other services. And as you can see, the proportion of our area of business on the screen. About the Sipucha Hanoi International City, the investor is the Sicha Westlake City Development Company Limited, in which the UDIC Corporation is the Vietnamese partner, accounting for 30%, and the Sipucha Group is the foreign partner from Indonesia, accounting for 70% of the charter capital. Every year, the joint venture company has brought to the Vietnamese partner as an average profit of $32.7 million per year. The Sipucha Hanoi International City is one of the two large-scale new urban area construction projects attracting foreign investment that the Vietnamese Prime Minister allowed to pilot since 1996. It is a successful symbol of economic cooperation and development between Vietnam and Indonesia. We always receive the attention and support from the government authorities in terms of investment procedures, cooperation mechanisms, and project development policies. The leaders of the Indonesian government and the Indonesian embassy always encourage and act as a connection between the two countries and between UDIC Corporation and Sipucha Group in particular. My presentation is about some information on the real estate business in 2021. As you all know, the unforeseen and rapid developing of COVID-19 pandemic in 2021 has severely affected all activities in many countries and in Vietnam in particular. And so the real estate sector was seriously affected, and the market faces so many challenges, and so that many customers and investors are cautious in making decisions to purchase and sell. However, in my opinion, 2021 also opens up many opportunities in this field. The first part about the challenges of the real estate market in 2021, firstly, is the unpredictable development of the COVID-19 pandemic. In the year 2021, the COVID-19 pandemic is complicated and unpredictable. Therefore, the real estate business activities are still moving slowly without many breakthroughs. On the other hand, to maintain good performance without affecting the profits of the company. Secondly, the process of project licensing and appraisal is overlapping and prolonged. In 2021, a number of legal policies will officially come into effect, such as the Investment Law 2020, the Revised Construction Law 2020. One of the challenges that many real estate companies are facing is the investment licensing process, especially for housing development projects. These projects will be governed by many laws, such as the law on investment, the law on housing, the law on real estate business, the law on construction, and the law on land. Currently, these projects are often assigned to investors through bidding and or auction. Thirdly, the entrepreneur will face many difficulties in accessing loans from credit institutions. At this time, real estate investment companies are required to have real financial capacity. Next is the impact of the tax policies. The plan for determining and calculating land use fees for housing development projects is not really stable. In addition, these policies are only applied when the market is stable and has not been a period of the COVID-19 epidemic. Therefore, it is difficult for property investor to estimate financial obligation on land use for their own projects. Lastly, the fluctuating and increasing price of iron and steel and other materials has pushed up the construction costs, causing risk to projects that has previously mobilized capital. Meanwhile, the existing selling price cannot be adjusted. The second part about the opportunity of the real estate market in 2021. Firstly, is the potential of industrial real estate. Industrial real estate is considered a bright spot of the real estate market, and it's opening up opportunities for investors in this field. Secondly, the benefit of low interest rates. The low interest rates in the past shall support the real estate market. Many businesses will have the opportunity to borrow more loans from banks. It is forecasted that in the coming time, the low interest rate policy will continue to be maintained to support the real estate market. Thirdly, the benefit from foreign investment capital flows. According to the Ministry of Construction statistics of FDI in the first quarter of 2021 shows that Vietnam's real estate sector still maintains attractiveness to foreign investors. As you can see, some numbers of statistics of 2021 compared to the same period in 2020 on the screen. Fourthly, the smart home trend. It is considered a new development trend in the future. Applying artificial intelligence helps to connect devices on the internet platform, and controlling smart devices on your phone makes it convenient to connect applications inside the house. Lastly, the government promotes infrastructure development. A series of large infrastructure investment projects such as Long Thanh Airport Phase 1, North-South Expressway Component Project, Metro projects, etc. They will be the driving force to the real estate market to grow in the future. With the above analysis of challenges and opportunity of the real estate market in 2021, I'd like to propose some solutions. Firstly, is to ensure the quality and progress of the construction projects. Secondly, invest into potential real estate projects. Thirdly, focus on recruiting and training human resources. Fourthly, restructure the personnel to be downscaled. And last but not least, continue to promote the brand names and products. As a Vietnamese partner of Sipucha Hanoi project, UDIC will continue to closely work with Sipucha Group to develop and complete the project. At the same time, in 2021, we also have discussions continuously to search for other projects in Hanoi and other big cities to be assigned to be an investor. Finally, I wish the relationship between the two countries, Vietnam and Indonesia, better and better. Wishing the relationship between the Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Vietnam and UDIC Corporation, Sipucha Hanoi, more and more close and developed. Wishing the ambassador and your family every health and success in your new endeavor. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ong Chung. Following excellent presentation from Ong Chung, I would like to invite our next speaker, Bapak Arif Wijaya. Bapak Arif Wijaya is the country head of Java Confit Vietnam, which is an Indonesian company operates in various stages of agri-food chain, including animal feed production, animal breeding, livestock fattening, and fresh meat. In Vietnam, Java Confit has around 6 factories across Vietnam and still counting to grow. In 2020, sales volume growth of Java Confit Vietnam combined for poultry and swine feed had surpassed 1 megaton, or nearly 1.1 megaton. Without further ado, the screen is yours, Pak Arif.
Thank you, Pak Ferry, for the kind introduction. Let me share my screen. Can you see this?
Yes, Pak, clearly, Pak.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning, His Excellency, Ambassador of Indonesia to Vietnam, Sir Denny Abdi, and all respected fellow speakers and all the audiences. This morning, I would like to take this opportunity and to share our experiences and journey in the Vietnam for the last 25 years. This Java Confit overview at a glance is basically we are established in 1975, so this year I think I commemorate coincidentally 50 years of our anniversary. We started in Indonesia. We originated from Indonesia, which is also still the biggest part of our operation, but we already now in 6 countries. So besides Indonesia, we are in Myanmar, Vietnam, Bangladesh, India, and China. So we have again, focus in 5 proteins businesses in 6 countries. Our business model is mostly it's a vertically integrated business model. So our focus in the 5 proteins in 6 countries. Vietnam belongs to the animal protein other, together with Vietnam, Myanmar, India, and Bangladesh. So also in Vietnam, we are also integrated in terms of feed, breeding, and fattening, and also lately we also developed our consumer product. In Vietnam, this year we also commemorating our 25 years anniversary. We started in Vietnam in 1996 as a joint venture company with a local government company, Final Livestock, which started in North Vietnam. But in 1999, we took over our partner share and become fully foreign direct investment, and we renamed our company to Java Confit Vietnam. In 2003, we expanded our feed and poultry into South Vietnam, and when we opened our first branch in south of Vietnam in Long An, called Java Confit Long An. We continue our growth in Vietnam in 2008, and then opening our biggest feed mill up till to date in Binh Thuan, and we call it the Java Confit Binh Thuan. In 2011, we realized that poultry was not the main protein preference for Vietnam people. So in 2011, we diversify our portfolio, and then we start our swine operation by forming a joint venture company with a well-known genetic company called Hypor. So we have like opened our Java Hypor genetic company in 2011, which signify our focus further into the swine business. In 2017, due to all the operation in Vietnam becoming more and more, we decided to consolidate all our operation into one Java Confit Vietnam Limited. So we consolidated our company, all our branches into one company. And in 2020, another milestone where we expand in Vietnam, we managed to surpass 1 million ton in our sales of feed. And then that one, and coincidentally also with the opening of our sixth feed mill in Binh Dinh. And in 25 years in Vietnam, we can proudly say also that our investment has grown, like from the initial investment of 11 million when we started, and now it's already increased to over 400 million US dollar. And our total employee this year has exceeded 5,000 people across the whole of Vietnam. When we see our milestone and in comparison with our revenue, we can see that again, we started in 1996 and 1997 as a joint venture poultry and feed company. And then we expanded in 2005, 2006, and then in Long An. And then after that in Binh Thuan in 2008, 2009. And then again, we started our swine operation in 2011. And then we continue growing with our swine. We started in GGP. That means only after 4 years, we will reap our reward in terms of our live swine sales. Then we moved back to the north to start the swine GP operation also in the north. And then we can see that we continue to grow in Vietnam. Only we see a little dip in our revenue growth in 2017, where we have a big oversupply of swine in Vietnam due to the closing of borders from China. But we managed to overcome that challenges. And then as we can see that our operation has grown by leaps and bounds ever since that. Next, I would like to show you the locations of our facilities across Vietnam. For feed, we have 6 feed mills, producing more than 1 million ton per year, which the latest one was in Binh Dinh, which is in the south central coast. For swine, we have 3 GGP farms of over 2,000 heads. We have 7 GP farms, 4 in the south and 3 in the north. We have 23 parent farms, 11 in the south and then 12 in the north. of course, over 300 company and contract fattening farm producing more than 400,000 heads, with a capacity of 400,000 heads. In poultry, we divided into 3 operations. One is for color. We have 2 grandparent farms. We have 11 PS farms. And we have also 3 million per month commercial chicken or DOC production. For the broiler, or Vietnam is more well known as white broiler, we have 7 PS farms with capacity of 500,000 birds. And then we have producing more than 4.6 million DOC per month. In layer, we have 3 PS farms. We have with a capacity of 112,000 birds. So we producing about close to 700,000 day-old chick layer. And which now we have also some CGF farm to produce 5 million eggs per month. We have 3 central hatcheries, and then we have over 1,000 contract growing farm with our private farmers. So there's a size of our operation basically. And then when we talk about Java, it's mostly well known for feed. So again, this is our feed production volume growth. From the last 7 years, you can see that we are growing strongly still. And then in 2021, we forecast that we grow another 20% from this level. Now, I would like to share with you also some opportunities that we see, that we experience while doing business in Vietnam. Of course, the first one is right business in the right market. Vietnam is an emerging market, like developing country with like a strong growth and then high per capita consumption in meat. So that's why we say that we are in the right market with also a big population, which is like close to 100 million. So this is where Java strategy is also, is like feeding the emerging market. So we would like to be in the market where there's the high population and then high population growth with a high opportunity. For instance, like Vietnam have like all meat consumption is more than 40 kilogram per capita, which is like in Southeast Asia is considered one of the highest. Of course, they have a labor market condition that is very conducive. They are young and also they are still growing. And also the labor market is quite competitive compared to other markets in Asia, including Indonesia. Good tax incentive, especially for the investment in like agriculture, and then the certain province that provide a good incentive in tax. The last few years, we see low forex fluctuation in the Vietnamese dong versus the US dollar. So the Vietnamese dong is like quite stable in range of like around 23,000. Secure environment, basically, yes, it's like quite secure, quite safe. We don't see many or much demonstration. Again, political stability, and then also geopolitical advantage, where we see the Vietnam location here is in the heart of Indochina. It's very close to Laos, Cambodia, China, Thailand, which is create a good opportunity for us to deliver our products also to these areas. Some disadvantage, of course, farming business require isolation area, and then also zoning, which is like in Vietnam, is still not yet well established. On top of that, for FDI, it's not easy to get land land acquisition is very complicated,
Izin
especially
Pak Arif, 2 minutes more.
yes. Okay. Strict policy of the State Bank of Vietnam, which is also can be good. And then we also would like to have a clear regulation of the balancing between domestic production and import. And also the tax rule clarity is sometimes ambiguous, but we can navigate this by having a close collaboration with the Department of Tax. Now we would like to shift also our project to become as we grow more, we would like to grow and then focus our project with a big project. So that's why we now have a close collaboration and working together with Binfuk project for 200 million investment in the next 5 years. We have a Jalai project, which is 200 hectare land for swine breeding farm, and also with the Quang Ninh project with over 100 hectare land for swine breeding integration. Finally, I would like to share also some pictures with you, from our journey this last 25 years. So the last year has been quite significant for us. This one is the signing MOU with the Binfuk government for that 200 million project in Binfuk. As a result, we follow that up. We get awarded a granted investment certificate for our slaughterhouse and also our feed mill in Binfuk. This one, another project in Binfuk, which is a groundbreaking ceremony for our biggest fattening swine farm, which is 48,000 capacity. This one is the last year, which we have an opening ceremony in Bindin, which was inaugurated by the previous ambassador, Mr. Ibnu, and all the Vice Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development. This is last few months, we have opening ceremony of our biggest swine and most modern swine farm in Binfuk province also. This one is 10,000, and at the background there is another 5,000 capacity. So basically that's all my sharing, and I would like to wish all my countrymen happy Independence Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Arif, for keeping your time very straight. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to the next speakers, I would like to remind you that should you have any question, please put it in the chat room by putting your name, your institution, your email address, to whom your question are addressed to, and then your questions. Okay, now we move to the next speaker, Ms. Fuchi Mai. Ms. Fuchi Mai has a very long working experience in Indovina Bank, dated back from 1994. For those who don't know, Indovina was the first joint venture bank in Vietnam, and during 1990s to 2000, ownership of Indovina Bank was equally divided between Vietin Bank and 2 Indonesian banks. Hence, the name is Indovina. Without further ado, the screen is yours, Mbak Mai.
Thank you, Pak Ferry. Excellencies, Mr. Danny Abdi, the Indonesian ambassador to Vietnam, Mr. Budiasa Sastrawinata, the managing director of Siputra Group, Mr. Arif Wizaza, Jaffa Confit Vietnam country head, Mr. Giang Quốc Chung, the chairman of UDIC, and Mr. Nguyễn Ánh Dương, director for General Economic Issues, NPI, and all audience. Good morning. First of all, I would like to show my gratitude to Excellencies Mr. Danny Abdi, the Indonesian ambassador to Vietnam, and Mr. Budiasa Sastrawinata, the managing director of Siputra Group, for inviting me to attend this webinar in the occasion of celebrating the 76th anniversary of the independence of the Republic of Indonesia. With the topic of sharing session of doing business in Vietnam, the participants of financial institutions, banks also take an important role in cooperating and supporting foreign companies invested in Vietnam in general and Indonesian business in particular. Today, I'm very delighted to take this opportunity to share Indovina Bank's experiences in supporting Indonesian business in Vietnam so far, as well as in the coming time. In order to be closer to you, our esteemed participants, I'm gonna deliver a speech solemnly, as I'm not really good at it, but telling you the true stories during the time I have been working at Indovina Bank for over 27 years so far. What I'm going to talk now is about the three main points. The first is the introduction about Indovida Bank. The second is the real stories about myself and our longtime Indonesian customers. The third, which is the most highlighted part, is our practical and particular supports to Indonesian business in Vietnam so far, especially in the period of time suffering from COVID-19 pandemic in Vietnam and in Indonesia. Let me begin with the first part about Indovida Bank introduction. Indovida Bank is the first joint venture bank in Vietnam, established on November the 21st, 1990, under the initial license of the State Committee of Corporation and Investment, formerly a joint venture between the two parties equally divided to Vietnamese Party, Vietnam Bank for Industry and Trade, now named as Vietnam Joint Stock Commercial Banks for Industry and Trade. And it's very familiar for you with the name of Vietinbank. From Indonesian Party, it's a PT Bank Suma Indonesia in 1992, and then Bank PT Dagang National Indonesia in 1993 until the year of 2000. And from 2000 to present, Indovida Bank is the joint venture bank between Vietnam Joint Stock Bank for Industry and Trade, Vietinbank, one of Vietnam's largest financial institutions and one of the largest private banks in Taiwan, Cathay United Bank, CUB. The latter, who only owned subsidiary of Cathay Financial Holdings, is Taiwan's largest financial group in terms of total assets and equity. About our people, the well-rounded and experienced staff of foreigners and locals at Indovida Bank are fluent not only in English and Vietnamese, but also Mandarin and Cantonese. Our Vietnamese employees are well-trained and familiar with essential banking concepts in line with international standards in order to provide clients with high-quality service. Our network, Indovida Bank's network, stretches across Vietnam in major cities and provinces with a business center, 14 branches, and over 20 transaction offices. The headquarters is located in Ho Chi Minh City. Our remark, Indovida Bank is constantly increasing its utility to serve both individual and corporate clients at home and abroad, focus on providing customer-centric financial products, outstanding and professional services and solutions. At the same time, Indovida Bank also pays special attention to its corporate social responsibility by taking part in environment programs for the sake of the community and society in Vietnam. We are honored to achieve the prestigious awards from domestic and foreign organizations such as the Top Brand 2015 by the GTA European Group, a certificate of merit from Wells Fargo Bank in 2015, a certificate of merit to the Executive Board of IVB from the government in January 2016, the Vietnam's Top 100 Enterprises in 2016, the certificate of merit from BNI Malone from our 4 consecutive years from 2016 to 2021. The top 5 of the largest enterprises in Vietnam, VNR 500, for 4 consecutive years from 2017 to 2020. As the first joint venture bank in Vietnam between Vietinbank and CUB, the economic growth of Vietnam with the motto solid growth together for more than 30 years, IVB has received great support from the government agencies as well as from our very long-time and valuable customers that have grown up at the age of 30 and proud to have served more than 20,000 individuals and corporate customers. And I will go to the second part, which is the real story of myself and our long-time Indonesian customers. My first story with Indonesia was with Indonesians. I taught Vietnamese for 2 Indonesian architects in about 1992 or 1993, before Horizon Hotel was built, Pak Abadi and Pak Rahio de Jamigo. The latter is now still working for Citra Westlake City Development Company. and also our personal customer since then. Moreover, the one who introduced me to apply for a job at Indovina Bank at that time is Pak Yoso, who used to be the Hanoi branch manager of Indovina Bank in 1993. I followed his advice, applied for a job at Indovina Bank, and now I have been in the same situation, the same position like him here for over 5 years so far. So thank you so much for my Indonesian friends and colleagues. And many Indonesian customers have become my friends, even though they still live and work in Vietnam or came back to Indonesia already. We still keep in close touch. This helps me understand more about Indonesian people, Indonesian business, and the working manner that Indovina Bank can serve and fit to your expectation more. To be honest, Indovina Bank is not a very big bank in scale, but a bank with very big names and reputation of its shareholders, and have been recognized a very safe and effective, rich experienced bank in its over 30 years of operation. The most important thing contributed to that reputation is that we have been serving very valuable customers and long time, like the Indonesian Embassy, Citra Westlake City Development Company, who have been banking with us for 28 years, like the Embassy, and over 24 years, like Citra Westlake City Development Company. You make IVB in general, and me, myself, not only happy to provide our banking products and service, but also very proud for what you have been contributing to the relationship between Indonesia and Vietnam, and to the face of Hanoi City in particular. Citra Westlake City Development has taken a very first and very early step and a huge part in changing our appearance of modern urbanization and more. Besides, PT Vietmino Energy Tama opened account and banking with us since November 1993, after the company was granted the investment license. Yes, 28 years indeed, and absolutely, I myself and all the Indonesian officers of the company for many working terms already cannot forget all the long distance way we had together from Hanoi City to Uông Thượng Mai site, whether it is in the very hot summertime or cold winter. And we did cooperate so well, financial field. Hanoi Horizon Hotel, now named as Pullman Hotel Hanoi, opened account with us and still banking with us since 1997. Yet also 24 years of operation, and the same 24 years we are together. Besides, one of your Indonesian corporate account may generate to many other individuals' accounts for expatriates working for the companies. We then, of course, give them service for both corporate and individual foreign customers with a wide range of products and service. Thank you very much for your kind attention and patience. And now I'm going to share the last part of my storytelling of what Indovina Bank in general and our Hanoi branch has been doing so far with our particular supports to FDI and to Indonesian business in Vietnam, and especially in the period of time suffering from COVID-19 pandemic in Vietnam and in Indonesia. Besides all banking products and services that a commercial bank may serve, Indovina Bank have always been supported more in providing. First, relating to finance. We provide online support and guidance for you to register and open different types of necessary accounts with the State Bank of Vietnam. We give the online support and very carefully guidance for opening account with Indovina Bank and even for other commercial bank, because basically we have the same situation under the State Bank of Vietnam's regulation, with details checklist of supporting documents need. And within this day, we should do everything online to save the time and the effective needs. The second is relating to the investment, connecting to IBB's partner. If you would like to do the investment, Indoviet Bank is not a very professional one. Besides the finance field, we have our partner, which is the GVT investment consultant, can assisting you for first investment consultancy, all needed procedures with the government and local authorities, and total business solution. For example, we did connect GVT, the Gate to Vietnam investment consultant, to PT Surveyor Carbon Consulting Indonesia, SCCI, and they have promising meeting after this lockdown time in Hanoi. Third, introducing connecting Vietnamese appropriate partners to potential and present Indonesian investor. Nevertheless, that Indonesian business is of small or big size, corporate or individuals, like the Indonesian restaurant owned by a very beautiful woman that we have been given information to our very close customers, both Vietnamese and foreigners, and they really enjoy Indonesian food. The fourth is financing the Vietnamese companies doing business, trading with Indonesian companies. Indoviet Bank,
2 minutes
yes,
more.
yes, I have it here. Indoviet Bank has been granted credit facilities of millions of US dollars for our Vietnamese customers to buy goods from Indonesia, from the exporters like PT Bra Inda Scenery, PT Summer Global Energy, TBK. Fifth, Indoviet Bank is the joint venture bank, and we have been working for so long, so we understand both Vietnamese side and foreign clients' way of thinking and expectation. So we do find the way balancing the two needs and supply, balancing the flexibility of operations with the strict compliance to the Vietnamese law and the SBV regulations. We then to support Indonesian companies by providing the suitable and smart advice, consultants, or solutions to their issues after intensive listening to them. This seems to be not to be in the bank list of service, but in fact, it is necessary to have our customer find the best feasible way to save financial expense and our time, have our customer to make their own decision. The sixth is a support in explanation of the State Bank of Vietnam regulation when required, support in preparing necessary trade finance documentation in import and import activities relating to finance and banking, support in providing better foreign exchange rate from time to time, support in offering priority interest rate for officers and staffs of VIP Indonesian companies like Ciputra, Westlake City Development Company, and others. Support in providing good finance, credit facilities, and very competitive bank tariff to Indonesian companies. Support all Indonesian individuals, customers, and more support in COVID-19 pandemic time. Only 2 minutes. Thank you. We actually, this is a very practical support that since May 2020, we waive all the international and domestic banking fees for 4-star and 5-star hotel, including Hanoi, Pullman Hotel Hanoi. We waive all the fees, all the banking fees, and throughout the year, we will still do. Yeah, it's for over 15 months already. We support more flexible solutions in international fund transfer in COVID pandemic time, more flexible, and support more provide mobile and on-site money collection. And we also provide medical equipment, and we are always here to support financial in any case of the Indonesian business and employees who are in need or in difficult circumstances. For the last, the above supports to FDI in general, and especially to Indonesian business, has shown Indoviet Bank's willingness and happiness to cooperate with you. If you need any more, please do not hesitate to contact me. Once again, I would like to thank to His Excellencies Mr. Danny Abdi, the Indonesian Ambassador to Vietnam, Mr. Budiasa Sastrawinata, and all the esteemed speakers today and audience to give me a great opportunity to see you, to share our modest and close storytelling about Indoviet Bank and our corporation. And last but not least, please receive from my warmest congratulations to the 76th anniversary of the independence of the Republic of Indonesia. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mbak Mai, for your clear presentation. Last but not least, we have Mr. Nguyen Ang Zung. Mr. Zung is currently served as Director for the Department for General Economic Issues and Integration Studies. Mr. Zung is Vietnam's official representative to APEC. He had led the APEC team to prepare APEC's reform agenda for 2021-2025, which was just endorsed by the APEC Structural Reform Ministerial Meeting in June 2021. Without further ado, the screen is yours, Ang Zung.
Good morning. I would like to, before I start, I would like to thank the Indonesian Embassy and the Ambassador for inviting me to speak today. Let me just share my screen. Okay. As introduced by the moderator, I'm working with two roles in the government of Vietnam. The first, I'm being a researcher in terms of economic policies, and the other one is I represent the country of Vietnam in the Economic Committee of APEC. Within the speech today, I'm sharing my view as the researchers doing research on economic policies in Vietnam, and I was invited to talk about the collaboration between Indonesia and Vietnam in the new context, and I'm going to give some perspective related to the current context where we are in, and the development vision of Vietnam in the next 5 years. And then I'm going to talk about the opportunities and challenges for the bilateral collaboration in the new context. And lastly, I will elaborate on some of the sectors where the two countries can extend further collaboration. First, in terms of the current context we are in, at this stage, we are still very much concerned about the development of the COVID-19 pandemic. I think the situation in Indonesia is still something of a concern, and within Vietnam, even in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, we are watching the situation with deep concerns and a lot of changes every day. But at the global level, all the international organizations are forecasting that the global economy will continue to recover this year, but subject to a number of risks, and the risk could be related to the progress in controlling the pandemic, and it could be with the inflation or the increase in commodity price, I think it was mentioned in the presentation by the speaker from EDIC earlier. But within that context, we also see that the countries in the world and those in the Asia Pacific, including Vietnam and Indonesia, having more consensus on the new trends. First, we underscore the importance of promoting the digital economy. Previously, this is nothing new. Even before 2020, everyone recognized the need for digital economy. But the pandemic did it in the way that it make all the countries in the region recognize that we cannot go back. We have to expedite things to prepare for the digital economy. And the second trend is the progress in some major FTAs. In Vietnam, we had the CPTPP, we had the ASEP concluded, and I think the ASEP is waiting for ratification. Indonesia also shared the same perspective. I think Indonesia is also preparing for the ASEP, and CPTPP membership may be one of the topic of interest for Indonesia as well. But within the region, we are also watching and seeing other trends with the agreements in specific areas. And the most notable one is the rising of the digital economy agreements. And one example is the digital economy partnership agreement between Singapore, New Zealand, and Chile. And this can offer a new platform for countries in the region to consider further partnership in terms of economic digital economy. And the next trend is the green recovery towards the sustainable development. everyone's recognizing that we have to promote economic growth recovery at this stage, but we also see the importance of promoting sustainable development. So the policy choice is either you wait until the end of the COVID situation before you start the reform for sustainable development. Another line approach is that you promote the reforms towards sustainable development now, even during the context of the COVID pandemic, and then you promote the green, something called the green recovery. And the last thing is we also need to build the capacity for inclusive development. The COVID pandemic make us recognize that we have to be more concerned about the marginalized groups, such as the MSMEs and the laborers. And I think these are both the important the priorities in countries like Indonesia and Vietnam. I had a few slides here which will be circulated later to the participants, so I'm not going to focus on that. The key message about these slides about Vietnam's economy is that Vietnam is continuing to progress in terms of domestic reforms. If we promote the reform since 2014, and we did not stop it even during the COVID-19 context. And the approach, you keep hearing about the dual objectives and the flexible and innovative and attentive approach of the government of Vietnam to the new proposals in controlling the consequences of the pandemic. But there are other things we did to promote the economic stability and economic growth. We try to maintain the low inflation, and we continue to provide support to the firms and laborers. And we also start the new reforms in various areas, such as the digital economy and the other thing like subnational connectivity. And I think that is also one relevant topic in Indonesia as well. And in this context, we also emphasize the importance of being further open to economic cooperation with partners in ASEAN, EU, Vietnam, and US. Vietnam also sees the importance of this partner, and within ASEAN, certainly Indonesia is one of the key partners that we have. And so, looking forward, I think it's very hard to make some sort of projection at this stage, given that the situation is changing rapidly. But certainly we can see some key aspects of Vietnam's aspiration in the future. So one of the key impact is one of the key things to note is that we will continue to emphasize the importance of having high economic growth. So Vietnam's economy will continue to be growing, and we aim to reach about 6.5 to 7% each year on average. But apart from that, we also emphasize the importance of improving the productivity. So we have some priorities. First, in terms of the promotion of the digital economy, and second, we continue to promote trade and domestic productive capacity. So in that, we hope that the engagement with partners in the GVCs and in terms of investment relations, such as with Indonesia, is one important direction. And the next thing is we continue to upgrade infrastructures. So we will have some solutions for developing smart city, some sort of like sustainable development, like the ecosystem for the industrial parks and things like that, and also emphasize the issues of energy efficiency. And in terms of infrastructure, we also had the introduction in the earlier presentations. So the next thing is with the Vietnam's and Indonesia collaboration. We note that the collaboration has been for many decades already, and but it has been more progressive since the establishment of the strategic partnership in 2013. And we saw the bilateral trade expanded from 5 billion in 2013 to 9 billion in 2019. And even in the first half of this year, the figure is already 5.5 billion. Of course, we are concerned that this expansion is still modest compared to the expectations and compared to the potential between Vietnam and Indonesia collaboration. And also in terms of investment, we saw from the previous presentations about signature projects of Indonesia in Vietnam. But from my view, I think we still have further room for promoting presence of the Indonesian investor in Vietnam. So what are the opportunities? First, we see that the current context is highly volatile, and there are a number of things that we can address on our own. So we need collaborations. We need to be open to dialogue. We need to share experience. So I think Vietnam and Indonesia has agreed to increase the dialogues between the two, and also we agreed to have to promote dialogues with other ASEAN and non-ASEAN partners in the UN, in the APEC and RCEP. I represent Vietnam in the Economic Committee of APEC, and we also had very strong relations with the college at the Coordinating Ministry of Economic Affairs in Indonesia. So we share the proposals, we provide supports, and we try to make things progressive together. And there are also existing and future FTAs that serve the interests of both countries. So one of that can be the RCEP, or the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. And there could be other issues in the future, such as the EU-ASEAN FTA. But certainly, we are now already ratified the FTA with the EU, and we are implementing it. But we're also waiting for the progress from Indonesia in the separate bilateral FTA with the EU. And there could be other room for investment cooperations. And for example, Vietnam and Indonesia can try to develop some initiative to jointly attract the foreign investor from outside the region. And we can also think about the mechanisms to promote the Indonesian investment in Vietnam. But certainly there could be other challenges that we need to address. One of the major risks is COVID pandemic. Everyone says that. But what it has to be done with our relations? And one of the key things is that the pandemic disrupted a number of activities. It's disrupt trade, it's disrupt business activities, and it's also disrupt the travel of natural persons. And we can't meet in person. So there are a number of things we can discuss in detail. Certainly we can meet over the online platform, but there are things we are prevented from discussing over the online environment. So we need further opportunities to discuss, and if we can try to find our ways to do that, then that may be a challenge. And the next thing is the US China rivalry. These superpowers are trying to have more influence in the region, and as the most populated countries in the ASEAN, certainly Indonesia and Vietnam can have a number of things to address together. And the next thing is the next risk related to foreign investment is the race to the bottom. Everyone is talking about the opportunity to attract foreign investment in the context of US-China trade war. And there's also a risk that Vietnam and Indonesia are competing too much in terms of attracting foreign investors. Please be reminded that alone, either Vietnam or Indonesia cannot attract all the investors from moving away from China. So we need to cooperate. We need to cooperate for larger capacity. We need to cooperate for harmonized policies, and we need to cooperate to have a stronger bargaining power compared to other partners in the region. And if we can do that, then just compete among ourselves, and we saw our benefit decrease, and that will not serve the relations of both countries. And finally, some of the potential sectors for collaborations, given the time limitations, I'm not going to elaborate on all the sectors of potentials. For example, today, together with this meeting, there is another meeting by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Vietnam to talk about the potential of promoting export to Halal market in Vietnam, to Halal markets. And certainly, Vietnam's exporters are looking toward Indonesia as a very potential Halal market, But of course, there are a number of things to do. And within these slides, I'm not going to elaborate on that. But there could be other areas that Vietnam and Indonesia can extend collaborations. Certainly within the real estates and constructions. We heard from the presentation by the UDIC that there is a number of opportunities for this, given that Vietnam is a growing economy. There's an increasing investment in the infrastructures. And the good thing is we also have seen the showcase of the existing signature projects, such as the Seaputra projects and others that can that have demonstrated excellent partnership between Vietnamese and Indonesian entities. So that can leave a foundation for the future. And the second sector is certainly the digital economy. We had a lot of progress together in terms of the sharing economy. For example, Gojek, it has been a major player, an emerging players in Vietnam in terms of the hailing service, and certainly they may be extending further service in Vietnam as well. Indonesia is also strong in terms of edtech, so that education technologies, and that can leave some sort of like room for sharing experience or even for investment collaboration. And certainly the issues of digital payment. Vietnam is considering to relax the regulations toward fintech, including the digital payment, and that might be some topic interest for the Indonesian investor as well. And the last sector that I want to talk about is the automotive value chain. Both Vietnam and Indonesia are emerging players in the supply chain of the automotive products, but we are not going to lead these types of supply chains, so that there can be some room together. For example, to export the automotive products to FTA partners of the two countries. Certainly, we need to think about the mechanisms to facilitate the cumulative rule of origins, because on our own, I think it's very hard for both countries to provide the automotive products that can meet the rule of origins under FTA. But we can work together to build up some sort of cumulative. So that means that certain parts will be produced in Vietnam, certain parts will be produced in Indonesia, and if we can combine the group origins, the origins of these input, then for the final products we can achieve something like the sufficiently originated products that can be eligible for preferential treatment when exporting to other markets. And the second topic is that both Vietnam and Indonesia are paying more attention to developing circular economy. So, and with that, we also try to talk with regard to specific products like electric vehicles or EV for short. Certainly, everyone is talking about that, the electric cars and things. And so, one of the key areas is that the battery, how we treat the battery, and understand that Indonesia has more progress in terms of promoting the battery issues, and there's also some good experience in recycling the battery for EVs, and that can be some areas that Vietnam and Indonesia can collaborate in the future. So I think as the last message, I think this as Vietnamese people, I think we are not afraid of the volatile environment. And I think with this type of volatility will induce us to work together, and we are not going to work alone. So I think if we can extend further partnership with partners in the regions, and certainly Indonesia is among the most important one within the region, then we can achieve together. And I think that there can be some opportunities for shared prosperity, and it's not just some word at the macro level. We have seen the sharing from the experience from the countries, from the companies in the two countries in the earlier presentations. So I think we can do more. And with that, thank you very much.
Thank you, Anh Dung, for your insight on Indonesia-Vietnam collaboration in the new context. So, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, now we are moving to the Q&A session, and I would like to say thank you for those who already put their question on the registration form, and for questions that relate to asking for business partners that relates to your specific products. We will answer your question directly via email. And right now, let me open 3 questions to raise to the panelists. The first one: what business strategy is taken if the recipient country is having a hard time dealing with a pandemic that affect market condition? Number 2, what business opportunity that we have in Vietnam during pandemic? And then the last one: is it possible to export spices in Vietnam, and what are the requirements? And with that, I would like to invite our panelists to answer the questions.
Pak Ferry, maybe you can address the specific questions to the specific speaker.
Sure, Pak. Okay, I think the first question: what business strategy is taken if the recipient country is having a hard time dealing with pandemic that affect market condition? Maybe Eng Zung can share what you're thinking about the question. Also about the next question: what business opportunity that we have in Vietnam during pandemic? Thank you, Eng Zung.
Sorry, I think the signal was a bit bad last time, so could you repeat the question?
Okay, so the questions are, the first one is, what business strategy is taken if the recipient country is having a hard time dealing with pandemic that affect market condition? That's the first one. The second one: what business opportunity that we have in Vietnam during pandemic?
I think there is some sort of commonality in the 2 questions. So I'm gonna elaborate on that. I think, like I said in the last slides about the potential sectors for collaborations, I think using the digital technology is one of the key issue now. I think given that we are still facing disruption in number of areas and in the traditional activities, the promotion of activities via the digital environment and using digital applications is very important. Certainly, there is a lot of concern when we use the digital environment, for example, in terms of the control of data, cybersecurity risks, and things like that. But it's not a question of, it's not a decisive factor that make us that deter us from using the digital applications or digital transformations. And from the business perspective, I understand that transformations also means cost. There are some costs associated with that, and certain portion of the business, even in Vietnam, are still waiting for the pandemic to be over before and they hope that when the pandemic is over, they could switch back to the old way of doing business. And I think that and the pandemic, and so the prolonged impact of the pandemic had some, at least some positive impact in the sense that it makes the company recognize that no, you can't wait, you cannot reverse the digital transformation. Either you have to do it now, or you have to do it fast, rather than, and you can't wait to go back to the old way. And so I think that is one of the common message that I want to emphasize. And so the opportunities in this context, as per the second question, certainly you need to make use of the digital economy and digital applications and progressive toward digital transformations. So you can have the opportunities. For example, you can deliver the product via the e-commerce platform. That is one thing, and you can also deliver a number of services like educations and health diagnosis via the internet environment. A number of applications can be like that, and it does not have to be things that are associated with traditional activities like car hailing, or motorbike hailing service and things like that. And certainly in terms of the business strategy, as per the first questions, I think from this, my advantage is that I'm sharing the perspective from the researchers, because I think for many policymakers in Vietnam, they are very reluctant to talk about risk. And I think for people working in business and in financial sectors, risk means both good things and bad things. So it's not always about bad things. So when we talk about risk, there's a chance that we can get good things. And so I think from the business perspective, I think the first thing is you need to act fast. That is one important thing, because you can't wait for some sort of like perfect solutions with something that without bad scenarios. And the second thing is you need good sharing, good risk management that is adapted to the new context. And the third one is that you need to be open to the opportunities for collaborations and from the market. Vietnam has the advantage of having a network of FTAs, and many of the companies in the countries are working, continue to make profit from exporting to the FTA partners, such as to the EU market, given that we just have the FTA with the EU last year. So I think the opportunities are there. Some are traditional, some are new, but I'm not saying that the company have to switch completely to the new context, to new strategies. They understand better than most of us about their real solutions, about how to combine the traditional and the new approach. But I think, either way, the message is for the business is also consistent with the policymakers. You have to act fast and act now. Thank you.
Thank you, Anh Dung. For the next question, I think, is it possible to export spices in Vietnam, and what are the requirements? For this question, if I may, I would like inquire Pak Dubes' assistants to help me answer this question, Pak. Please, Pak Dubes.
I think for the specific question, we will respond to the participants' private email, Pak Ferry, so we can address a more general issues here. Yeah, and for my Indonesian friends, don't be shy. You can also bisa juga bertanya dalam bahasa Indonesia. Nggak apa-apa. Kadang-kadang kita mengerti bahasa Inggris, tetapi untuk bertanya mau disampaikan dalam bahasa Indonesia, please do so. That's okay. So we are, half Indonesian and half Vietnamese here.
Thank you, Pak Dubes. I will move on to the next questions. Now in the chat room, we have two more questions. The first one is, what about opportunity for foreign company to acquire local company at Vietnam? What about local regulation on it? I think I may need my dear Vietnamese speakers to help me answer this question. Maybe Ba Mai or Ong Chung, or maybe Ong Zong to answer this question. Thank you again.
Maybe just in general, I think details we will respond by email.
Okay, so is there any more questions that maybe you are interested to know more about the general condition on how to do business in Vietnam? If not, Pak Dubes, if I may, can I ask one question to Ms. Ba Mai? Ms. Ba Mai, in one of your slides, you mentioned that Indovina provides support to connect Vietnamese partners to potential Indonesian investor. Any success story that you can share with us? And if I may ask, can investor also make loan to local bank in Vietnam? Thank you so much.
Please unmute your speaker. Ms. May?
Yes,
Yes. Okay.
yes. Okay. So can you show me the slide, please? I cannot hear you very clearly for the question.
Okay, Ms. Bamai, in one of your slides, you mentioned that Indovena provides support to connect Vietnamese partners to potential Indonesian investors. Any success story that you can share with us? And if I also may ask, can investor make loan to local bank in Vietnam? Thank you so much.
Yes, I said that with relating to the investment, we often, once we know about Indonesian potential investor, once we know, if we know, we always listening to them, what they expect, what they would like, and I will connect to my acquaintance and to my customers. For example, Pat Whaley, he works for SCCI, right? The PT Surveyor Carbon Consulting Indonesia, and I have the partner, as well as he's the chairman of a 3,000 employees company, but he also the chairman of GVT, that means Get to Vietnam Investment Consultancy. So I connected to them to provide the investment consultancy to PT Surveyor Carbon Consulting Indonesia, and the GVT, they can provide all the needed procedures with the governments and local authorities. In that case, Indovena, we are just the connector and the total business solution. That is one example. Another example is that we are financing millions of US dollars for Vietnamese partner, for Vietnamese customers, and our Vietnamese customers now import coal from Indonesia, and they our very long time customer here, and now they import coals from PT Bra Inda Scenery, PT Summer Global Energy, TBK. We, of course, from Vietnamese side, we do not deal and we do not do directly with the two Indonesian company because they are in Indonesia. However, we finance for our customer because we have the long history and we have the understanding about Indonesian. And of course, if the Indonesian export anthracite or coal or import, we know the same manner and we understand about the industry in Vietnam. As I said to you that PT Vietnam Energy Tama, I've been working with them for let's see over 25 years. So Vietnam Energy Tama is the one who exports anthracite and coal. And now we are not in the very I mean the license is the license of Vietnam is not any longer. So we try to support Vietnamese customer to buy coals and to do more things related to coal importing from Indonesia. That's the two examples. Yeah, and it just happened this year, you know, just happened this year. And the amount for importing coals is through Indovena Bank is just let's see 10 million US dollars or more than that already. And we are going to do this month the shipment, and we also go by myself to the vessel from Indonesian, and we also meet some Indonesian workers on the vessel. So is it clear for my answer?
Thank you so much, Bamai. So for your explanation, earlier I saw Pak Iman raise hand to ask question. Pak Iman, are you still here? Or you put your hand down already? Okay, I think Pak Iman just left. So anyone still have questions to the speakers? I would like to invite more questions to the speaker. Okay, if no question, one more, if I may, Pak, following up for the point from Eng Zeng that there's a potential in halal industry in Vietnam. I would like to know Pak Arif's opinion on this matter because Pak Arif last year the embassy attended a seminar on halal industry held by MOFA, and then from the seminar we learned that Vietnam's government is really want to tap the market on the halal industry. Maybe Pak Arif, you do have some opinion on this matter, and then you can share with us what's your plan on this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Ferry. Since we are doing also like consumer product, yes, I think halal industry is also one segment of the market in Vietnam, albeit not so many, but it's still a good segment for us. So yeah, we welcome this one. If the segment, I would say it's not big, but it's will grow further, especially later on, of course, when the Vietnam is going to be open again. So a lot of tourism sector and then tourists coming from all over the world, mainly like maybe from Indonesia or India or Pakistan, and all these countries require halal food in Vietnam. So again, if we can like strengthen that industry, and then the requirement will be clear, and then how to implementation, then of course it will be good also for us in the industry, so that we can make sure that we can provide the good halal product for the market segment. For your information, and then I think for our north, since we have our slaughterhouse already, we also already get a halal certificate for that. So what we sell the meat in the north, where we sell to the horeca, where we sell in like one of our shops, and then you can get like a halal product.
Thank you, Pak Arif, for your explanation, very clear to us. So, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, if there's no further questions, I think we have come to the end of our webinar today. But before we conclude, can I ask closing from each speakers? Maybe for each speakers, deliver 1 to 2 minutes closing, a key message that you would like to convey to all the participants, or maybe a message that you would like to share with all of us. Please, maybe we can start with Pak Budiarsa. After that, Mr. Chung, followed by Bamai, Pak Arif, and then after that, Mr. Zong. Thank you.
Okay, my message, of course, is just if you would like to access overseas, I think Vietnam should be the best choice in ASEAN, as the population is second to Indonesia, and also the economic growing steadily with the, as I mentioned earlier, with the political stability and the government friendly, investor-friendly policy. I think to spread the risk and have expansion business, Vietnam would be the best choice at the moment in ASEAN, even during the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Budiarsa. Next, maybe from Ong Chung.
The last words I would like to say that Vietnam is a developing country, and there are many opportunities in Vietnam to cooperate between Vietnamese and Indonesian companies. So we are welcoming the Indonesian companies to invest in Vietnam, especially in construction projects and real estate projects. Please contact with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ong Chung. Next, maybe we can have from Pak Arif.
Yes, as we mentioned earlier, we've been here 25 years, and Vietnam is the first regional expansion for Java. And then our experience has been like very good. And then until even recently, Vietnam has like very strong economic and GDP growth the last few years, and the Vietnam government also very supportive. And then together with Indonesia, Vietnam and Indonesia have a very good bilateral relationship. So, and then always supportive of the business, foreign business in Vietnam. So yeah, we would like to recommend. Yeah, of course, there are some challenges, but it always can be overcome, especially again, for sure, the embassy, Indonesian here, embassy very helpful. And then I would like to recommend all the Indonesian businesses, if they want to have a foreign overseas investment, Vietnam is definitely one of the top destination you should consider. Yeah, thank you.
Terima kasih Bapak. Next, Mbak Mai, please.
Yeah, thank you. To all of the esteemed audience, I think Vietnam is still promising market, and what I want to say is nevertheless, the Indonesian business is big or small. Please think about it, and please do not hesitate to venture. I will provide my email to the ambassador, to the embassy, for any answers related to finance or related whatever I may know. Whether it will be the individual bank customer or not, it doesn't matter. The matter is that you think and you invest in Vietnam to do business for the mutual benefit between two sides. And you will be happy and become my esteemed client in the future, maybe. Thank you.
Xin cảm ơn bà Mai. And then next, can I have Ong Zung for your key message?
Thank you. I just have two quick messages. The first one is that Vietnam is not the most competitive in the region in terms of the business environment yet, but we are progressing the fastest in terms of improving the environment. So I think that's, so if you come now, you get a lot of benefits and opportunities later. And the second benefit, second message is that Vietnam and in Indonesia is having some sort of like small figures in terms of bilateral trade and in terms of investment at this stage. But don't worry about the small figures. The small figures means that we have a lot of potential for improvement in the future. And that is something for us to exploit. So let's act. Thank you.
Xin cảm ơn Ong Zung. Last but not least, I would like to invite Ambassador Indonesia to Vietnam, His Excellency Bapak Denny Abdi, to deliver his closing remarks. Please, Pak Dubes.
Terima kasih, Pak Ferry. Thank you for all participants and speakers. I think we have discussed we have achieved our main objective for this event. So first, to celebrate Indonesia's Independence Day. Secondly, to present the success stories of two. We only present two today, Ciputra Group as well as Java Confit. But there are more Indonesian investors that we can hear from their experiences in the future. Situation is not easy during the COVID-19. All countries experience the situations, including Indonesia and Vietnam. But I think in this difficult situation, as I think Mr. Zung said this, in every situation, there are challenges, but for business people, at the same time, also opportunities. Only those who can see this clearly will survive. So I think for all the business people that are attending this event, you will see this from the whole presentation. I think the job of the government to support you with as much as possible clarity, both from Vietnam as well as from the Indonesian government. We at the embassies also representing the Indonesian government. We receive a lot of questions. Many of the questions are technical, so I'm sorry we cannot respond directly here, but my team already have your contact and we will respond to you directly. So I would like to thank you for all the all the support, all the active participation, and this is just a small contribution from the Embassy of Indonesia, supporting by the all speakers, and we can see that from the all presentation, the basic thing that we can see from all the participation is the the optimism to see the future. So we understand that the COVID-19 will not be ended this year. Maybe we have to live with this COVID-19 for the next year, maybe the year after that, but certainly our two governments will working hard side by side to overcome this, to help the business people, and then we can grow together. I think that's all from me. After this, we will have more ideas to have more seminars, and maybe we can have more interactive dialogue among us. Thank you, Pak Ferry, and thank you all participants as well as all speakers. Thank you.
Terima kasih, Pak Dubes. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our webinar today. On behalf of the organizer, the Indonesian Embassy in Hanoi, I would like to say thank you to all of our speakers as well as to our participants. We hope the seminar will give you insight on how to conduct business in Vietnam. Don't forget to follow our social media, and then we will see you again on the next seminar. Salam sehat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you again.
Thank you and see you again.
Thank you, Miss May, Pak Arif.
Thank you, Pak Dubes.
Thank you, Pak.
Thank
Pak
you.
Budiarsa, terima kasih semuanya.
Mr. Chung.
Terima kasih, Pak.
Pak Alvin,
Thank you.
how are you?
Hai, Pak Arif.
Fine.
Pak
Ferry.
Chung.
Pak Denny.
Yuk,
Terima
semua.
kasih semua, Pak Dr. Sparta, Pak Prayit. Nanti kita kontak-kontak ya.
Pak Denny.
Ya.
Pak Denny, siapa Denny?
Ya, Mr. Chung, thank you so much. I'll see you after the lockdown.
Terima kasih Pak Dubes. Mohon undur diri.
Thank you.
Terima kasih Pak Denny.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Danny Abdi. Thank you,
you.
Mr. Budiasa, and have a good day. Please take care.
Thank you, Miss May,
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Mr. Wong.
Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Pak Joni.
Ya.
Arif Mon. Thank you, Mon.
Terima kasih banyak, Pak Denny. Sukses selalu.
Ya.
Sehat. Salam sehat, Pak Dubes.
Salam sehat untuk teman-teman di Indonesia. Salam sehat.
Salam sehat.
Selamat
Salam sehat, Pak Dubes.
ulang tahun RI.
Bye, Pak Dubes.
Goodbye. Okay, thank you, Pak Arif.
Thank you, Pak.
Pak Dubes, terima kasih Pak Dubes.
Ya, Pak
Posma Pak.
Pak Posma. Wah, Pak Posma ini otomotif kita nih.
Siap. Pak Budiarsa. Salam
Yuk,
Pak.
Pak Posma.
Pamit Pak ya. Terima kasih
Yuk,
Pak. Sehat-sehat.
terima kasih.
Merdeka, Pak.
Makasih.
Mari Bapak Ibu semuanya mohon undur diri. Salam sehat semuanya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.